Welcome to NFL Imperialism. You may have seen this concept floating around YouTube, but I wanted to put my own spin on it by going through every season in the Super Bowl era and hopefully improving upon it. If you're interested in a full thorough breakdown of how imperialism works, feel free to take a look at the first 3 or so minutes of our initial video of the 1966 season. That video is linked on its own in the description below. Right beneath that is a link to a playlist of all completed imperialism videos to date. Otherwise, we're ready to start. The 21st century rumbles on, and with it comes the 2002 season. This season brought quite a bit of change to the NFL landscape, as the expansion that began with the reintroduction of the Cleveland Browns in 1999 finally concluded with the NFL once again having an even number of teams. But that's not all that changed, as the NFL underwent a realignment that finally made a bit more sense geographically. The division structure switched to 4 divisions of 4 teams in each conference. The East remained the East except for the Cardinals. The Central became the North, leaving the Bucks behind, and only the 49ers and Rams stayed in the West. They were joined by the Cardinals, while the Bucks went to the newly formed South, joined by the remaining members of the former West. The AFC West remained the same except for the Seahawks, who stayed in the West but switched to the NFC. 4 members of the Central became the North, and the East ditched the Colts. The Colts went to the South, joined by the Jaguars and Titans, and now we finally have our 32nd team, the Houston Texans. This now, not geographically perfect but much better, is the 2002 division structure and the structure we know today. And this is our new map, with the state of Texas split once again between Dallas and Houston. This will now be the steadiest map throughout all of imperialism, to remain the same for 14 consecutive seasons. Back to it now in their new division, the Bucks went on to their first ever Super Bowl appearance, winning the game in dominant fashion over the Oakland Raiders, behind a stifling defense and their new head coach John Gruden, formerly the head coach of the Raiders. These are also our last 2 imperialism champions. These were the 2 best teams in the league according to our rankings, with the Eagles and, somewhat surprisingly, the Dolphins and Falcons rounding out the top 5. The Texans avoid the bottom spot, always an impressive feat for an expansion team, leaving that to the Cincinnati Bengals, with the Arizona Cardinals in second. It's time to rock this thing. 2002 imperialism begins now. We're getting this season's first game as the Tennessee Titans slide to the east and hit the territory of the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers trail 10-7 in the third quarter, looking to get something going here. Off the play action, Rodney Peete is gonna scramble, pick up a few yards, but Peter Sermon will force the ball loose. The Titans will land on it, and they're gonna get a pretty good return here down to about the 25-yard line. They take immediate advantage. This touchdown pass goes to Derrick Mason, survives the hit in the end zone, holds on to the ball. That will extend the lead to 17-7. The Titans clamped it down after that. 17-7 is our final score. The Panthers really couldn't get out of their own way in this game, putting the ball on the ground 4 times, including the one we looked at. The Titans will take over their territory and have a nice strip of land to work with. It sure didn't take too long. In just our second game, we're going to be seeing the Houston Texans for the first time as they travel to New Orleans to face the Saints. Just like with the Ravens though, the Texans do not exist in this game, so they will be wearing the uniforms of the Carolina Panthers, who just got eliminated. The early days of the Texans franchise were tough sledding, and the Saints had no mercy. This play-action pass is going to go to Joe Horn, his 3rd touchdown catch of the half. That will extend the Saint lead out to 28-7. It slowed down just a little for the Saints in the second half, but not much. They come away with a 45-20 victory. It's a big moment for the Texans. They make their Imperialism debut, but it's one they probably like to forget. The Saints will take over their territory, and they now share Texas with the Cowboys. The wheel's been giving us some close calls. This is another one. It's just going to hit the Colts. They're going to travel to the west, and we're getting another Colts-Bears matchup, this one in Chicago. We're tied at 7 in the second quarter, and the Colts are looking to put their stamp on this game. Edgerrin James goes up the middle for the touchdown. That's followed up by this diving touchdown by Reggie Wayne. And as the Bears try to get back into it, David Macklin makes this interception and takes off with it. He gets through one tackle, and from here it's just speed. He avoids another tackle, picks up a block, and 83-yard pick six once he crosses the goal line here. That's going to give the Colts a 28-7 halftime lead, but the Bears are going to come roaring back. They've got it from the 10-yard line on a draw play. Anthony Thomas is able to split the defense for a touchdown. They get it back. He runs in another touchdown. The Bears defense gets it back one more time. This jumping catch by John Davis as the third quarter expires has inexplicably tied this game up at 28 apiece. The Colts are shell-shocked, but they're starting to move the ball. From their own 33-yard line, Peyton Manning is going to try to take off. Bobby Howard strips the ball loose, and the Bears are going to recover it. They dink and dunk their way down to the 12-yard line. It's 3rd and 3. Jim Miller is going to again look for John Davis. The Bears have taken the lead after trailing by 21 at the half. 35-28. The Colts are going to look to get into gear. Troy Walters receives this kickoff, but Brian Urlacher screams down the field, will force the fumble, but the Colts recover. Can they take advantage of their good fortune? From their own 32-yard line, 2.5 left in the game, Peyton Manning's going to look for Marvin Harrison, but it's intercepted by Mike Green. Taken at the 35-yard line, he's unable to break through, but the Bears have the ball. They've traveled just past midfield. The Colts absolutely need a stop here. Anthony Thomas is going to take the draw play, has some space, has the first down. He's going to drag and break a couple of tackles, pick up a lot more. The Colts finally get him down, but the Bears are able to run out the clock, creating a captivating comeback, 28-0 difference in the second half to win this game 35-28. This absolutely looked like a done deal for the Colts, but the game doesn't end until it's over. The Bears will take over the Colts' land, and we'll see what kind of momentum they can carry after this victory. We're going to get yet another close call on the wheel here, just passing the Lions into the Eagles. The arrow's much clearer. They're going to head south into Baltimore to face the Ravens. Philly's taking their opening drive down to the 11-yard line. Donovan McNabb is going to look for James Thrash. He makes the catch for the touchdown. The Eagles lead this game 7-0. They never lost that lead. They piled it on, going on to win this game by a final score of 40-9. Super Bowl champions just 2 years earlier, the Ravens have fallen on some hard times here. The Eagles go into Baltimore, take over their territory, and this season's first top 5 team to take the field is moving on. Our next game is going to give us our 5th elimination. The Cardinals are chosen. They're going to head north. The Cardinals expanded. The Broncos expanded. They will now face each other for all that land. The Cardinals have stayed stubborn in this game, only trailing 14-8. But here inside the 20, Brian Griese is going to lead Rod Smith perfectly into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown, ending a very long drive, making the score 21-8. They get another score before the end of it. We have our final score of 28-8. And this battle for all that land is for now the largest piece of land, which belongs to the Broncos. They take over the Cardinals' territory and knock them out of imperialism. The wheel lands on the Jets and they will be heading to Philly, bringing the Eagles onto the field for the second time this season. The Eagles look set to cap off a very strong first quarter. From the 5-yard line, Brian Westbrook is able to plunge his way into the end zone. Before the quarter is even over, the Eagles have jumped out to a 17-0 lead. It stayed level the rest of the way, quite literally, each team scoring the same amount of points in each quarter going forward. But that first quarter did the trick. The Eagles win the game 34-17. This was the second straight season where the Eagles were able to get into the NFC Championship game, and they did so as the conference's #1 seed. Their prospects in Imperialism this year look pretty strong. They will take over Southern New Jersey, not a big land grab, but it's their second win, and they're moving on. This wheel spin looks to be landing on a Florida team. It's going to be the Jaguars. They're going to head up north. They're going to head to Atlanta to take on the top 5 Falcons. The Jags' D has been excellent to this point, but at some point Atlanta was going to move the ball. Warrick Dunn is able to punch in the short yardage carry there, giving the Falcons now a 14-10 lead in the third quarter. As the third quarter is winding down, the Jaguars facing 3rd and 26. The Falcons anticipate run. They bring the defense up. The Jags are going to wind up taking their shot downfield to Stacey Mack. The running back breaks free, and he's able to pick up the first down. Unbelievable play. We switch sides now in the fourth quarter. The Jags have it at the 3-yard line. This is Fred Taylor spinning away from the tackler, staying in bounds, and getting the Jags back into the lead at 17-14. Atlanta getting some momentum behind that offense now, have moved it down to the 32-yard line. Warrick Dunn is going to lose a yard on this play. So with 2 minutes 47 seconds to go, the Falcons call timeout, and they're punting. They could have gone for it or kicked the field goal. They're punting. I cannot explain this. After some pressure here, they're able to get the punt off. Naturally, it's going for a touchback. So Jacksonville takes over at the 20. They pick up 15 yards, 2:32 to go. After the play action, Mark Brunell's going to look deep for Bobby Shaw. Makes the catch, picks up a ton of yardage inside the 20, near the 10. The Falcons hold them to a field goal. They trail by 6 on 4th and 11. Michael Vick takes the snap, fires to Trevor Gaylor, picks up the first down, but they're now down to 4 seconds left from midfield. They need to throw this to the end zone. Instead, it's a direct snap to Warrick Dunn. I mean, he gets 8 yards. Fine, the clock expires, and Atlanta, this is Atlanta. This is what the Falcons do. We've all seen them before. Jacksonville wins 20-14. Falcons gonna Falcon. It's even in video games, if you can believe it. The Jaguars will take over the Falcons' territory, and quite frankly, the Falcons deserve their elimination. It looks like the wheel might want to take us back out west. The Chargers are chosen. They're going to head east. They're going to be facing off with the team that holds the largest land right now, the Broncos. This game was tied at 10, but the Chargers have since taken control. It's now 17-10, and LaDainian Tomlinson will shoot up the middle, getting the touchdown to make it 24-10. The Broncos didn't have any kind of response for the Chargers in this one. San Diego will actually tack on another one and come away with at the end of it, fairly convincing 31-10 victory. The Broncos used to hold the largest piece of land in the nation. The Chargers take over their territory, and now they claim that distinction. A quarter of the 32 teams have now been eliminated. We're going to get the Lions on this wheel. They're going to head west into Green Bay to face their rival, the Packers. Detroit only trails by 4 in the fourth, and they're running the ball very well. Joey Harrington's going to try to throw a pass, though. That was not good. Intercepted at the 19-yard line by Marquez Anderson. He's getting a good return. They're holding him up to 46. He finally will go down at the 47. The Packers move the ball forward, and here they're going to run a reverse to Terry Glenn. Picks up a great block on the backside, turns on the speed, gets away from a tackle, and uses his agility to get away from a couple more. What a great run by Glenn there, putting the Packers on top 21-10. They didn't run away with this one, but with that 21-10 final score, they're going to get the victory. This Packer team in 2002 made a little bit of unfortunate team history, becoming the first team to ever lose at home in the playoffs. But they were still an excellent team, and they showed enough here to beat the Lions. They will take over their territory. Wisconsin and Michigan are now theirs. The Cowboys become the fourth bottom 5 team to go on the attack. The first 3 teams fell. How will the Cowboys do in New Orleans against the Saints? They're holding on here. They only trail 7-3 in the third quarter. The Saints are at their 5-yard line though. This is James Fenderson diving in for the touchdown. He is in for the injured Deuce McAllister, and he had himself quite a nice day. The 2 teams will exchange touchdowns before it's over, Fenderson getting that one as well. And for the second straight game, we have a 21-10 final. The Saints win it. Through the first 10 games of this season's Imperialism, 4 bottom 5 teams are out. Only the bottom team, Cincinnati Bengals, remain. The Saints will take over the Cowboys' territory, and in a rare event, they own the entire state of Texas. We're getting 2 teams on the field for the first time. The New York Giants will go to Buffalo to play the Bills. We're tied at 14 in the third quarter. The Bills are looking to get into the end zone. Drew Bledsoe is going to throw to Peerless Price, but it gets knocked away. Buffalo will have to settle for the field goal. They take a 17-14 lead. This next drive was the Tiki Barber show. He's either run it or caught it on every play. He takes this direct snap and it runs it into the end zone to give the Giants the lead in this back and forth game. It is now 21-17. The Giants defense gets the ball right back to its offense. It's 2nd and 18. This play action to Tiki Barber brings the defense in. The pass goes to Ron Dixon. He makes the catch at the 3-yard line. On 2nd and goal now, Tiki's going to run it in himself, extending the lead to 28-17. The first time either team has led by 2 scores. Buffalo pulls one back very late as time expires. The Giants are going to take this game 28-24. The Giants will now escape from New Jersey and take their residence in New York. They take over the Bills' territory. This playoff team from 2002 has the capability to make some noise. We're going to head back to this old wheel, and it's going to be landing on the Packers. They're going to go on the attack to the south. That will place them against the Chicago Bears. After settling for 3 field goals, the Packers are going to look to get into the end zone. They're on the Chicago 15-yard line. Brett Favre fires the Donald Driver. He extends out and makes the catch, and the end zone has been breached. Green Bay takes a 16-0 third quarter lead. They're going to walk out of Chicago with the 23-7 victory. The Packers will be joining the Saints and the Eagles with 2 victories this season. They take over Chicago's territory, and they're sitting pretty right now in the Midwest. We have 20 teams still remaining in this Imperialism. The Browns have been chosen. They're heading down to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. The Browns are still looking for their first win since coming back to the league. They made the playoffs this season, and the Bengals are our lowest ranked team. This would be their opportunity. But it appears that the Bengals don't take too kindly to being ranked at the bottom. Already up 8 in the third quarter, the swing pass to Corey Dillon will go for a touchdown. Cincinnati now extends its lead to 28-13, and by the time it was done, they had taken the Browns to the woodshed, a 31-13 victory. Every other team in our bottom 5 went one and done, but the one bottom team, the Bengals, had no part in that. They will take over the Browns' territory. They own the state of Ohio, and it'll be interesting to see how far they can go. We're keeping things on the field here. The Wheel's going to select the Washington Redskins, send them over to face their division rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly's offense has done very little in this game, but they haven't needed to. Shane Matthews is going to try to force this ball into triple coverage because that's Steve Spurrier football, I suppose, in the NFL. Troy Vincent picks it off, runs it all the way back in for the touchdown. That is their second pick six of this quarter. Ryan Dawkins had one earlier. Couple that with the Eagles' first half touchdown and their defense shutting it down. 21-0 Eagle victory, final score. With this victory, the Eagles will be taking over the Redskins' territory. They're not grabbing large pieces of land, but this is their third elimination. We continue to chug along here in 2002 Imperialism. The Patriots are selected. They're going to head to the Southwest to take on the New York Giants. At the 2-minute warning of the first half, the Giants lead 3-0 in this defensive game. Tom Brady is going to fire a pass into the end zone. David Patton is going to make the catch in double coverage, putting the Patriots on the board, giving them a 7-3 lead. We now go to the second half. The Patriots lead 10-3. The Giants are trying to get their offense into gear. From the 16-yard line, this pass goes to Amani Toomer. Makes the catch in stride. That will tie things up at 10 apiece. The Giants' defense takes control, gets the ball back, and the Giants have moved it to the 3-yard line. Kerry Collins is going to once again look for Toomer. He ties the game. He now gives them the lead. It's 17-10. There's still some time left. The Patriots are facing a 4th and 10 at their own 32-yard line. After the play action, Tom Brady is swallowed up by Cornelius Griffin. The Giants tack on a field goal. They hold the homeland, winning this game 20-10. The Giants have never really made a run in any Imperialism. This is our 37th. Maybe this is the one where they do it. They will take over the Patriots' territory, and they only have the 2 Pennsylvania teams in the way of their control of the Northeast. Our next elimination is going to cut the field in half to 16 teams. The Vikings are going to go to the East. That's going to give the Packers the opportunity to eliminate every team in their division. This game is next. The Packers lead by 14 in the third quarter. They're on the doorstep looking for more. This handoff up the middle will go to Amon Green. Touchdown, Green Bay. The extra point's going to be blocked. It's going to stay 27-7. The Vikings tried to keep up, but the Packers kept on answering. They win this game 34-20. And with that win, the Packers have indeed cleaned out their entire division, the Lions, the Bears, and the Vikings. They will take over the Vikings' territory, and we are indeed down to 16 teams. The Bengals are getting back on the field. They've already eliminated one playoff team. Can they do it again against the Steelers? This time it will have to be in Pittsburgh. All signs point to no. The Steelers already lead 7-0 in the first quarter. This short pass goes to Mark Bruder, and he's able to outmaneuver basically the entire Bengal defense. He gets in for the touchdown before the first quarter is even over. This game is 14-0. The Steelers run riot all over the Bengals, winning this one 37-6. Considering that the Bengals were the bottom team, winning a single game is going to count as a run. The Steelers, though, win this game, take over their territory, and they've taken their first step in 2002 Imperialism. We're getting a good matchup here. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be taking on their AFC South rivals, the Tennessee Titans. The Jaguars have jumped all over Tennessee in this game. It's already 28-0 still in the first half. Fred Taylor is going to catch this touchdown pass. The Jaguars take a commanding 35-0 lead. The second half got a little wild on both sides. Our final score here is Jacksonville 51, Tennessee 26. The Titans turned the ball over 3 times in the first half, and the Jaguars took advantage, scoring touchdowns each time. They will take over the Titans' territory, and except for that little part in southern Florida there, they are kings of the South. The wheel lands on the Dolphins, which means there's only one place they can go. To the reigning Super Bowl champions and the defending Imperialism champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a top 5 matchup. The Dolphins have been in this game and actually led at the half. From the edge of the goal line, Michael Pittman will score this touchdown for the Buccaneers, giving them a 17-10 lead. And from here, the Bucs did control the game, scoring 10 in the third and 10 in the fourth, coming away with the 27-10 victory. This Buccaneers defense is so good that it's almost surprising that they gave up 10 whole points in a half. They will take over the Dolphins' territory, and now they're in the same position as the Dolphins. If they get chosen, there's only one place for them to go. For the second straight game, we're getting 2 new teams on the field. The Raiders are chosen by the wheel. They're heading north to face the 49ers. Now, the Raiders are our number 2 ranked team and went to the Super Bowl this season, but they also played a game in San Francisco during the regular season and lost. Let's see how this game turns out. Lots of offensive fireworks, but the Niners have control here, leading 31-24 in the fourth quarter. Out of the shotgun, Jeff Garcia is going to throw this pass to Ty Streets. He goes up and gets it, makes the catch, scores the touchdown. The Niners now lead 38-24. From here we have the Jerry Rice show, of course. Jerry Rice being a former 49er. He did just about everything on this drive, including catching this pass and getting it down to about the 2-yard line. Rich Gannon's going to sneak it in to get the lead back to within 7. It's 38-31. The Raiders are going to be lining up for the onside kick. Sebastian Janikowski puts it down, but Kevin Barlow recovers for the 49ers. That leads to this touchdown pass to Garrison Hurst. After a slow first quarter where the 49ers only scored 3 points, they got 14 points in each of the next 3 quarters and come away from this shootout 45-31 victors. It's safe to say that all 49er fans had a very difficult time seeing Jerry Rice in any other uniform other than their own. Rice in this game had 13 catches for 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. It wasn't enough though. The 49ers will take over the Raiders' territory, and now for the second straight game, we've lost the top 5 team. Seattle will be going into San Diego for what used to be a division matchup. Seahawks at Chargers is next. Seattle will be looking to strike first. They have the ball on the Charger 46-yard line. Matt Hasselbeck has time, throws it up to Darrell Jackson, makes a leaping catch, escapes his defenders and gets into the end zone. The Seahawks are on the board first. They are up 7-0. The Chargers are looking to strike back now in the second quarter. From the 15-yard line, the pitch will go to LaDainian Tomlinson. Uses his moves and his agility. Touchdown, San Diego. That will tie things up at 7. The teams are going to exchange field goals before the half. We now enter the second half at 10-10. Seattle's taking it down to the 6-yard line. They're going to be changing the call at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Sean Alexander gets in for the touchdown. The Seahawks reestablish their lead at 17-10. The Chargers are going to want to tie this game, but they're going to be backed up all the way at their own 11-yard line. Drew Brees is going to look downfield for Curtis Conway. They're going to make this connection. Conway's going to get it down to the 40-yard line. The Chargers are in business now. They've taken it to the 9. On second down, they're going to slip this handoff to fullback Fred McCrary. He's being held up at the line, but he breaks free, and he's going to score the game-tying touchdown. 17 all, 2:12 left in the game. Seattle will have a chance to put this away. They've taken the ball to just inside midfield. This is play action. Hasselbeck looks for Darrell Jackson. It's overthrown. Vernon Fox steps into the lane and makes the interception. Now the Chargers have a chance to put this away. They've moved the ball to the 35. It's 3rd and 5. Play action to Tomlinson. The pass goes to Tomlinson. He makes the catch. That's an incredible play there. On the next play, this direct snap. Tomlinson breaks through the middle, has a chance to score, but he's taken down at the 5-yard line. This should now be a chip shot field goal for Steve Christie. He's going to line up from 23 yards with 8 seconds left to go in the game. Kick, it's no good. The kicking AI in this game can be something else. We're tied up at 17, and we're headed for overtime. The Seahawks have pushed their way to their own 45-yard line. Matt Hasselbeck has lots of time in the pocket. He's going to look for tight end Itula Mealy. What a catch by Mealy, taken down at the 17. Seattle is going to bring out Ryan Lindell in overtime. Can he make this kick? It's shaky, but it's good. And the Seahawks go into San Diego, go into overtime, and win this game 20-17. We may look at this as an AI situation, but in reality, this is kind of the most Charger way for the Chargers to lose. The Seahawks will take over their territory, and the Chargers have joined the Falcons in finding a way to lose inexplicably. Tecmo Super Bowl III was clearly ahead of its time. The Seahawks just won a game in overtime, but they're being called right back onto the field. They had 2 choices of where to go if they weren't expanding. That arrow's pointing down to El Paso. That's going to take them into New Orleans to face the Saints. We're tied at 7 in the 3rd quarter. The Saints are in Seahawk territory. Both teams change it up at the line. This is play action up the middle. Aaron Brooks goes deep to Joe Horn. They're going to chase him down, but not quite get him. Horn's able to break through into the end zone to give the Saints a 14-7 lead. The Seahawks now have 1st and goal from just inside the 6-yard line. Sean Alexander goes up the middle and he's stopped and he can't break through. On 2nd down, Seattle's going to throw. We've seen this before. This is incomplete though. 3rd down, direct snap to Alexander, doesn't go anywhere. Ryan Lindell will kick the field goal. The Seahawks blow a goal-to-go opportunity. Now New Orleans has it in the 4th quarter, a chance to really put this game away from the 40-yard line. Brooks goes to Horn by the sideline, makes the catch. This time Seattle's just going to catch him, but the Saints do turn this into a touchdown. And for the 3rd time and for the 2nd time with the Saints, we have a 21-10 final score. The Saints win. Based on what we've seen earlier, it seems like Tecmo Super Bowl III all the way back in 1995 truly understood both the Falcons and the Chargers. They seem to understand the Seahawks as well. The Saints will take over their territory and have complete dominion over the West, but for the 49ers. Well, if the Saints want the West, they're going to have to go into San Francisco and get it. The Saints are going to be at the 49ers. The Niners were settling for field goals in the first half while the Saints were scoring touchdowns. Here in the 3rd quarter, they're going to get another one. Who else but Joe Horn making the catch and dancing around the defender to get into the end zone for the score. From this point, the 49ers lost control of the game. The Saints took that control, get the easy 35-12 victory. The Niners had a winning record and were division champions in 2002. They won't see either of those things again until the year 2011. They're out of the game. The Saints take over their territory and not only own the West, but much of the mountainous regions down through the Gulf Coast. The Buccaneers are looking to grab the rest of Florida and a whole lot more. They're headed to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars. It's been mostly a field goal fest late in the first quarter. Tampa leads 13-9. Brad Johnson's going to look for Keenan McCardell, scoring a touchdown against his former team. That will give the Buccaneers a 20-9 halftime lead. They kept Jacksonville at arm's length the rest of the way, kick a couple more field goals while they were at it. 33-17 is our final score. The Buccaneers' path toward an Imperialism repeat championship now lays before them. They will take over Jacksonville's territory, and we're down to 8 teams. We've got a big game coming up. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are heading to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. This is a rematch of the 2002 NFC Championship game, which the Buccaneers won. These are also the last 2 of our top 5 teams standing. The winner of this game will be the favorite to win the whole thing. Let's get on the field. The Eagles are up 7-0 in the second quarter and looking for more. Donovan McNabb has trouble finding an open receiver. He gets picked off by Rondé Barber, and it's amazing how art sometimes imitates life. Rondé Barber did this to the Eagles in the championship game as well. A pick 6 touchdown. In real life, that put the game away for Tampa. Here in this game, it makes the score 7-6, and 7-6 it will stay as the Eagles come up and block this extra point. It's now 9-7 Tampa lead in the third quarter. Brad Johnson facing some pressure. He gets picked off by Troy Vincent, and that will return the favor as he returns it for the touchdown. Philly's going to go up now 14-9 in the third quarter. And from here, the three-headed rushing attack of Deuce Staley, Brian Westbrook, and Donovan McNabb himself took over the game. The Eagles rout the Buccaneers 34-9. The Buccaneers took Imperialism in 2001, made the championship game in 2000, but in the season where they won the Super Bowl, they can go no further. The Eagles take over their territory, and as we said, they will be the favorite going forward. We're ready for a photo finish here. The Giants come up on the wheel, and we can see they just barely bypassed the Eagles' territory. That perfect angle is going to take them into Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. And the Giants have been in control of this one. They lead 21-10 in the third. Play action. Kerry Collins throws to Ron Dixon. Gets his feet down in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. The Giants' offense in this season's Imperialism has been a little stop and start, but they were all over this one. They go into Pittsburgh, lay it down on them. 38-17 win. This is very hard to believe, but in 36 Imperialisms before this one, the Giants never won 3 games in one season. They've done it now. They take over the Steelers' territory, and of our 6 teams remaining, all of them have won at least 3 games, except for the Chiefs and Rams, who have yet to see the field. We'll be looking to narrow this field down to 5 teams. The Chiefs are chosen on the wheel, and they're going to be getting on the field for the first time, heading down to New Orleans to face the Saints. This game might be light on defense. And it sure was. New Orleans just scored to make it 35-20. Now the Chiefs are marching. Priest Holmes gets this pitch. He's met by several defenders, but he bounces off all of them, escapes another, turns on the speed inside the 10-yard line, spins away from a couple more. What an amazing run there by Priest Holmes. The Chiefs are going to get this 2-point conversion and make it 35-28, but the Saints were like nuts to that. Touchdown pass to Joe Horn. Here comes another touchdown pass. The film got a little weird here, but that is a touchdown as well, putting the Saints on top 49-28. And the teams will actually find time to exchange touchdowns one more time. The Saints come away with a 56-35 victory. And those 91 combined points set an Imperialism record for most points in a single game. The Saints will take over the Chiefs' territory, and only NFC teams remain in these last 5. We're getting set for the Battle of the East Coast. The Giants will be heading to the South, and they're going to take on the Eagles, not just the East Coast, but the NFC East as well. Let's get to this game. The Giants trail 14-0 in the second quarter and are forced to punt out of their own end zone. This doesn't go well, though. It's blocked, and Sean Barber is going to scoop it up in the end zone for the touchdown. The Eagles lead 21-0. The Giants will pull back a touchdown, though. It's 21-7, and they're on the move. From the 17-yard line, minute to go in the half. Play action. This pass is going to go to Ron Dixon. Touchdown, New York. They're back in this game at 21-14. In the second half now, they're going to pick up a safety, and on the ensuing free kick, they're going to drive it down to the 20. They only trail by 5 now. Kerry Collins is going to look downfield. Amani Toomer makes a diving catch, and the Giants have come back from 21-0 to take a 23-21 lead. The Eagles' offense has been going in reverse. They have a 3rd and 19. Donovan McNabb, he's going to look for Brian Westbrook. It's incomplete. And even though there's not much time left, it's 4th and 19. They're going to have to punt this ball, depend on their defense to get it back. The Giants are giving a rush here. They almost block this, but the punt gets off. Delvin Joyce had a good game to this point. He's going to return this one from his own 17-yard line. He's fighting off some tacklers. He won't go down, but now the ball is out. He fought too hard. The Eagles will pick it up, and the special teams step up again. They have it on 2nd down in the shotgun. Donovan McNabb hangs in the pocket. He's going to look for Brian Westbrook again. This time they connect for the touchdown, and the Giants are shell-shocked here, giving up their lead 28-23. They have the ball, but they've quickly fallen to 4th down. They only need 4 yards from their own 21-yard line. Collins wants to go deep to Toomer. It's knocked away. The Eagles will go ahead and score from here, and they come away with a wild 35-23 victory. It was a game of runs. The Eagles score 21 straight. The Giants score 23 straight. The Eagles score the last 14. They take over the Giants' territory. We now have 4 teams remaining, exactly 1 from each of the 4 divisions in the NFC. From our final 4, the wheel will choose the Packers, and we're going to get a photo finish here. At first, I thought this arrow was going to run parallel to the Rams' border, but it did not, and it will hit the Rams' territory. That will send Green Bay into St. Louis for our next game. The Packers are in control, leading 24-14 in the third quarter. Play action pass is going to be going to Terry Glenn. Makes the catch in front of the defender for the touchdown, extending the Packer lead to 31-14. The Rams kind of fell off this season. The Packers took advantage of that, winning this game 45-21. And with that victory, the Packers will take over the Rams' territory. We're down to our final 3 teams, and the way the map is set up, any of these 2 teams can play each other in our next game. The Saints and the Packers took the time to expand. The Eagles want on the field. They're going to head to Green Bay to face the Packers, and for the third time now, the New Orleans Saints are going to be in the Imperialism Championship game. Who will their opponent be? Let's find out. It's been a stalemate for much of the first quarter, but the Eagles have the ball moving now. From the Packer 25, Deuce Staley is going to break this tackle. He's going to skate down toward inside the 5-yard line where they will catch him. Switching sides now in the second quarter, this pitch will go to Brian Westbrook, and he's going to find his way in. The Eagles will strike first, taking a 7-0 lead. Their defense has stepped up big time, stopping Green Bay the entire half. They have the ball on the Packer 36. Donovan McNabb looks for tight end Chad Lewis, knocked away by the defense. David Akers is going to come out for a 54-yard field goal attempt. He certainly has the leg. The ball is going to get through. The Eagles will lead 10-0 at the half. Green Bay finally wakes up on offense. From the Philly 15-yard line, Brett Favre steps up in the pocket, gets this pass off to Terry Glenn, and we've got a game now. The Packers score this touchdown, their first points of the game. It is 10-7. They've got the ball again now at their own 13-yard line. It's second and long. Brett Favre fires a slant to Terry Glenn, makes the catch, picks up a few extra yards as the third quarter expires. Switching sides to the fourth. They can tie it, but they'd rather take the lead. Favre to Driver, he bodies the defender to make the catch. For the second straight game, the Eagles have given up a double-digit lead. Green Bay is ahead 14-10, but Philly's on the march. They've moved it to the 13-yard line. 2.5 minutes to go. Quick pass to James Thrash. They somehow keep him out of the end zone. Next play, McNabb's going to try to run it in himself. Cuts in, breaks a tackle, and pushes his way in, looking like a fullback out there. Philly has reclaimed the lead, 17-14. Can the Packers respond? They have second down at their own 28-yard line. $1:50 to go. Favre is going to try to force this pass, and Bobby Taylor will make the interception, break a tackle. He's racing it down. Donald Driver is able to catch him just before he scores. Taylor's second pick of the game. The Eagles will get this touchdown, and they come away with a 24-14 victory. For the second straight game, the Eagles gave up a double-digit lead, but also for the second straight game, they reclaimed it and wound up winning by double digits themselves. That will propel them into the Imperialism Championship game, where they're going to be taking on the New Orleans Saints. For the Eagles, it's their first title game and only their second overall since winning the whole thing in '81. We're going to spin this wheel and find out where this game is going to be played. And this spin is just going to land short of the Saints, staying with the Eagles. So the Saints are going to host this game. They've hosted their two previous Imperialism title game appearances and lost them both, while the Eagles went on the road and won theirs. The 2002 Imperialism Championship game is now. The Saints have it early, facing a 2nd and 11. The game is still scoreless. Play action, this pass is going to Joe Horn, and it's incomplete. That pass has been working for the last 2 seasons in Imperialism. The Saints punt, the Eagles have it now inside the 50. McNabb stays in the pocket, fires deep to running back Brian Westbrook. Makes an incredible catch. They're inside the 10-yard line. 2 plays later, Deuce Staley is going to get the game's first points on the board. The Eagles take a 7-0 lead. They force an immediate 3-and-out of the Saints offense, and they get the ball back. They've moved it to the 25. It's 3rd and 11. McNabb throws it to Todd Pinkston, goes up, makes a great catch to keep the drive alive. On the very next play, this pass goes to Chad Lewis in the end zone. Touchdown Philadelphia. They've jumped out now to a 14-0 lead. It's up to the Saints to try something here. They have passed midfield for the first time as the half nears its end. Brooks is going to try Joe Horn again, but Bobby Taylor is there for the pick. Horn hasn't caught a pass yet. Taylor makes this pick. He's going to get some yardage on the return. It's going to be 14-0 at the half. We're now in the second half, It's 17-0. The Saints need to get into gear. Aaron Brooks is going to be quickly taken down by Corey Simon. They're going to punt again. The Eagles have it. McNabb steps up in the pocket, throws to James Thrash. The Saints moved up when McNabb started running, and Thrash is going to get this touchdown. And Thrash is probably the right word for what's happening in this game. 24-0 Philly. The Saints started scoring way too late. The Eagles are going to take this victory 34-10. And with that victory, they've not only redeemed the 2002 season, where they lost the NFC title game at home, but also the entire Andy Reid era, as they could never get it done while he was there. Your 2002 Imperialism champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Super Bowl 37 matched up our 2001 Imperialism champion, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and our 2000 champions, the Oakland Raiders. Neither could get the job done in this season's Imperialism, as the Philadelphia Eagles avenged their playoff loss to the Bucs, and the Saints surprised many by making it to the title game. Unfortunately for them, they came in as the only team with 2 title game losses without a win, and now they've added a third loss. The Eagles were excellent in the early 2000s, and this roster was no exception. Offensively, they ran the ball with Deuce Staley, Brian Westbrook, and quarterback Donovan McNabb, and that job was made much easier by this amazing offensive line, strong at every spot but led by left tackle Trey Thomas. On defense, the front seven was excellent, but it was the secondary that really shined, especially the corner combo of Troy Vincent and Bobby Taylor, each of them making key interceptions and, on occasion, bringing those back for touchdowns. This season's Imperialism had 3 21-10 scores, 2 of which came back-to-back in the first half of games. There weren't a whole lot of blowouts, but there also weren't any exceptionally close games either. In fact, looking now at the second half of games, only 4 out of all 31 games were decided by 1 score. What we had in the second half, though, was some scoreboard spinning, with the Jaguars-Titans game hitting 77 total points, and Chiefs-Saints going for 90. In the end, though, invading forces won the final 4 games, including in the championship. Speaking of which, the Eagles won that championship and topped the season standings with an impressive 7-0 record. The Saints showed out at 5-1, while the Packers also did well at 4-1. It doesn't always happen where the final 3 teams also accounted for the most victories. We do have a new team on the top of the overall standings. With the Vikings and Cowboys facing some trouble, it's the San Francisco 49ers, by virtue of their 1 victory this season, that gives them sole possession at the top. The Packers and the Eagles were in a race to 50 wins, but it was the Eagles who made it there first. And the Houston Texans make their first appearance here, but they're still looking for that first win. Thank you so much for coming along on this ride that we call Imperialism. Please consider giving the video a like and a share, and if you haven't already, the subscribe button is right down below. Let's take one last look at the Philadelphia Eagles and their dominion over the United States, 21 seasons after the last time they did it. They're going to come back strong for 2003 Imperialism, and I hope you do too. Thank you again so very much, and I hope you have an awesome day.